Welcome back to the Modulus calculator project. This will be, I believe, part 5. And just to review, when we left off in part 4, we tested our Modulus calculator object for the first time, and it tested successfully. We did leave out one of the print statements. Let's do a refresher run on this program. So the runtime shows up in the shell, and please input the first number. This is just plain modulus arithmetic using 2 variables, 100. Second number can be 7. And there we have an answer of 2. All right. And let's just double check that. 84, 91, 98. Okay, so that is correct. Let's build in the if you've been following this, you will know that we built in over here in the object class the ability to print the expression as well. So not only the answer, but the expression, and we are storing the expression for modular arithmetic under expression 1 with an accessor method. So we are going to print out from the accessor method because the method call has been made. Everything is sitting in memory for the private, as private data for that particular calculator. We need the accessor method, just like we have in this last line. So let's go copy, paste. And we need a blank line in between, and we want to say we want to print the expression, and we're already set up for that. So let's get we need get expression 1. Copy, paste. There we have it. Let's run this. All right, so enter the first number, 100. Enter the second number, 7. Now we have both the answer and the mathematical expression. Fantastic. So we've tested this. We know that we have a working calculator. We have yet to call the rest of the methods. We're set up for modular addition, modular multiplication, modular subtraction. Before we write the method calls to those, just want to look ahead for a second, right? Because we're going to need to give the user a choice of which calculator they want to use. So that will include a menu option and some conditional statements. Based on what the user chooses, we want to send out 2 separate static methods. We need a method for taking 2 numbers, and for the rest of our calculator, we need a method that's going to accept 3 numbers. And you can see from our 2 constructors up here. We can create 2 different objects. Let's create 2 different methods for getting the input based on user choice. So we're going to create what we call a static method. That's a method on this test side, on the client side. All of this, let's get everything on the page. We want to take all of this code and put it into its own method. So let's copy and let's create a static method. Public static. Let's make it void for now. Yeah, let's make it void for now. If we choose, we can return the information and print from the main method. And we will call this, let's see, input. Let's call it input. Input 2. Let's maybe call it input 1 and input 2 for now. We may think of better names. Let's give it some scope. There we go. I'm anticipating some trouble being able to reach this scanner. Being able to reach this scanner. Let's try it out. Yep. N.next double, both here and here unreachable. So now what we can do is we can borrow, let's see, copy that line. Let's call it N1. Something like that. Let's build. Okay, here we go. Input the first number, 100. Input the second number, 7. Okay, same thing. But we have to get rid of this code and make a method call to input 1. So let's, we already have this code inside of the method. Tell you what, let's comment it out first in case we need this for testing. Here we go. That makes me feel nice and cozy and warm inside, that I haven't just thrown away my code. And we're going to make a method call to input 1. That should be all that we need. Okay, input the first number, input the second number. Voila. So our new method, when called, is ready to go. So if someone wants a plain modulus calculator that takes two inputs, we will call input 1. And if someone wants one of the other calculators, they addition, subtraction, and multiplication, they all take 3 inputs. So let's make that static method as well. So let's call that input 2 for now. We may think of a better name later. And let's go call this scanner N2. And we need to be able to take a third number. Input the third number, which represents the modulo number. Okay. We need N2 here. We update our code. Let's get a space in between. There we go. And this one we'll call our, let's see, this constructor number 3. Okay. So let's see. But how will we know which method to call? Because we have 3 of them over there. Could do a static method for each type of calculator, or we can have this static method serve all 3 of the calculators over there. Let's go to our object and remind ourselves how we set it up. We're going to instantiate this object, gives us our numbers, and then we will make the appropriate method call. So we have our instantiation, and here we just make, depending on the input we receive, that's how we're going to determine which method call to make. So these static methods will need a parameter. Right here, we need a parameter. Here we need a parameter that will let us know which method to call. Now this static method will always call just the modulus, the one calculator, but this one represents 3 calculators. It will need a parameter if called. But for now, let's just test out one of the methods. Let's test out modular addition. Let's double check that. Okay, looks good. Yeah, but now we have to know which accessor method to get. So let's just hard code this for now. Answer to and expression to. What are the get methods? Get answer to, get expression to. Get answer to, get expression to. So this is right now, it's just hard coded to do modular addition. We're going to need conditional statements. We're going to need to add a parameter to our static methods so that we know which calculator to run. Okay. This should at least be able to run. If we call our new static method, we should be able to run modulus addition. Let's give it a try. Control B. Oh, we have errors. Not a statement. 75 and 81. So this mistake is very obvious, so obvious that I did not even see the numerals at the end. Let's build this again. Variable 2 is already defined. Number 2 is already defined. So let's try number 3. Yeah. Build. So we just work through those statements. Here we go. Input first number. Input second number. Input third number. I want to do a modulo. It's going to do 100 plus 7. Let's make the modulo 100. That means we should get a 7 back. Great. We got an extra space right here. Let's get rid of line 76. So we can run more than one method now. We're going to cut this one short so that we do not make it too long. We have the ability to run any of the calculation methods over here. We've tested the first 2, but they pretty much kind of work the same way. We may only, we may have to work out some minor bugs. Our next step for this, we need user input with a menu asking the user which calculator they would like to use. Then we need decision-making code, which we call control statements, conditional statements, which call the appropriate method, if method input 2 is called, that represents 3 different calculators, we need a parameter sent so that we know which method to call. And then the next step can be make the calculator able to run more than one time. So make the calculator quit on demand. And from, so that's enough for now. We'll continue to make some improvements to this, but right now it looks like we have some structure here. Nice basic OOP structure. And we will see you in the next phase, which will be part 6.